right. So my name is Shanda. I am the host of TLX Travel Advisors. So my story is kind of weird, and I'll give you guys kind of a picture for who I am so you know who the heck it is that's talking to you today. We're going to go through a few pieces of information, and I'm actually going to ask for some feedback because we're in pre-launch right now. So our company actually started as an academy that taught people how to trade. And the reason is because our CEO used to work on Wall Street, and he actually would train the different traders on the trading floor. And so he taught us how to trade Forex, how to trade crypto, how to trade stocks, how to maneuver in the markets. And what that's done is it's created this movement of digital nomads. Now, that's what happened for me is I actually mastered crypto. And in the process of mastering crypto and online marketing, I was able to get myself out of a job and actually 3. But prior to this company, I actually worked in a radio station and I did telemarketing for timeshares, as well as I've done, and ran different call centers and call center groups in different industries. And so when they partnered with this guy, his name's Wes, he's actually a part of our company, and he was one of the top traders that we were working with. And so he had actually built $1 billion travel business that he sold off, and he maintained the relationships. And so what I think is really cool about this guy is that he maintained these relationships with top brands like Princess Cruises, AMA Waterways, Royal Caribbean, Marriott, Hilton, etc. And when he built himself to a place of leadership in our company, and actually had helped onboard hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of traders, because what was happening is a lot of people want to travel for work or want to travel full time. And they had come to him as a travel advisor and said, hey, I want to travel more. But he was really finding these traders in our company were living the lifestyle that he wanted. And so did his clients and the people he was mentoring. So when he found our company, obviously he was learning the skill sets, he's mastered that. But our CEO found out about his connections and all of these relationships that he had built over the years. And obviously, the travel industry is like $1 trillion industry, as you guys know. Well, some of you may. And so when they found out that those relationships were intact, they came together to actually build a travel portal that offered exclusive offerings to different people in the marketplace. So the thing that's really cool about that is, first of all, our company is debt-free. It's been around for over 8 years, and our leadership is solid. But this specific offering that we have in the travel space is new. And so this is a pre-launch call. We have not officially launched in a lot of these markets. And there's a few of us as travel advisors who have connected with either people that we know who are entrepreneurial, or people that we know that are looking to diversify into travel, or travel agents or travel advisors, travel agencies that are looking to scale their income and really create a better experience for their consumers and a better experience for them as agents. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the business side of this today. So we're not going to go through so much like how our prices compare. What I can tell you is that I've already done multiple focus groups with travel agents as well as with travelers. And what I found is that everyone is shocked at our price and the price comparisons that we have available. And so what that means is that obviously we'll give you access to be able to see some of those discounts, but we're beating the best prices online. And as we continue to do that by up to 60%, it's creating a different competitive landscape. And so there's going to be a little bit of opportunity for feedback. And I want to really encourage, especially the experienced travelers. I know there's a couple of travel influencers on here today that are actually they're traveling, they're taking pictures, they're building their online influence, but monetizing that platform hasn't been necessarily locked in for them. They're not making that 10, 20, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 a month yet, which is super doable in the travel influencer space. I also know, coming from the radio background, working with so many small businesses over the years, that much money coming into a small business is a big deal. And so as we continue to launch these online influencers and give access to them, we as travel advisors, Sherry, Leona, Kalia, and many others are here to actually help travel agents get in on the deals that are being offered to influencers, because they have influence. It's just maybe it is, maybe it isn't on YouTube or Instagram. Maybe it's more in person through their current sphere. And so we didn't want to exclude that sector. We wanted to actually open it up and make it so that every single one of you got the best deals available for your clients, got the best business structure available based on your personal goals. And also we're offering, some competitive compensation. So I'm going to go through this business side today. We are going to be doing an event later this week to go over some of the details when it comes to how the consumers interact with our products. And our portal and the deals and that sort of thing. So we can definitely give you access to that later on. But today, my heart is that you would see what's in it for you, that you would see how we're disrupting this industry. And if any of you have ever heard of eXp Realty or Keller Williams Realty, one of the things that they've done so brilliantly, and the reason that they're disrupting the real estate space, is because of their profit sharing and or residual income platforms. And that's something that we're bringing to the travel industry. So think of us as the EXP of travel. And I'm going to break down what that looks like for you as a professional in the industry right now. And then we'll get into later on in this week. We've got a few different consumer-based or traveler-based calls that we'll be able to introduce you to and welcome you to. So So I'll just tell you again, a little bit more about my story. So as I retired from my full-time job at the radio station, and as I was able to pay off over $1 million in debt, what happened for me is I realized that, there's different ways to make money. I read the cash flow quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki. I went through all this stuff and I realized that, going to work, even though it was for commission, and even though I got to, help entrepreneurs build their businesses and, really talk about the stuff I love, I didn't so much have an exit plan that was going to be something that would pay my bills if I quit. And it was a long road that I was going to have to run down. And then finally, I really realized, looking at the people that have a ton of money and get to travel more, that they have multiple income streams. Their money makes them money, as well as their business operates, whether or not they're there. And having worked with over 1,000 entrepreneurs myself, I actually didn't see a lot of that. Most of my small business owners, and small business is considered anyone who has less than 500 employees based on Forbes definition. So under 500 employees, in my experience, unless you have systems, taking a month away is a bit of a risk. And so our heart is that there would be a little bit more leverage in terms of your time and a lot more profitability in terms of your business. So we're going to go through that today. And I, coming from this working full-time in a small town in Canada space, then traveling full-time. Now I live in Panama. In the last year, I've been to 2 continents, 3 countries, 24 different cities. And it's been incredible. And I have people reaching out all the time. How do I monetize my social media? How do I travel as much as you? And that's what we're here to show you today. So I'm going to break it down for you. If you just give me 1 second, I'm going to show you my screen. And I'm going to leave this on edit mode. And the reason I'm going to leave this on edit mode is because, again, we're still in beta in the sense that we're just launching some of your markets. And we started this program in June, and now we've really got, we're continuing to add on to it. Come later on, we're looking at private jet share programs. We're looking at, additional events and festivals and restaurants and those sorts of things. But for right now, we've really dialed in our accommodation and cruise and rental car section. That also includes condo weeks, which is timeshare stuff. So part of the reason that we haven't refined this presentation in the sense that it's not all graphically pretty and we're still in edit mode or beta is because I still am looking for feedback from you. And so as audience participants, I really want to ask that you let me know if there's anything you see missing from our information, because we're still taking in data from our different focus groups. And we want to make sure that, your experience as business owners, as travel advisors, as influencers, and as nomads is fully heard. Because I believe in my heart of hearts that there's 2 sides to every coin, that not everything is all sunshine and roses. And in business, anything, in my opinion, that's positioned that way doesn't actually work out. And so I really want your feedback in terms of the pros and cons, okay? let me just make sure everyone's muted. There we go. And we will get this thing started. Okay. So the goal is to work with travel agents, travel advisors, travel influencers, and nomads, those who know them and those who want to be them, and create a $10,000 US dollar a month residual income that is a baseline for your business. And that's the idea for you personally. So this is net profits. That's our goal. And we do have a business plan, which is what I'm going to lay out for you today. So in this business model, there's actually a few different people we want to consider. There's consumers, there's people who are booking direct with clients already, and then there's also people who are running a business or are influencers. So with influencers, they tend to be the promotional element of a hotel or a destination or a city. When it comes to travel, like agency owners, they tend to be more about promoting travel and their specific business. And then, of course, there's the reps. And when I say rep, what I mean is the person working direct with the client to help them book. So this is someone who's like helping them book their vacations. And then, of course, we have the consumer. So we want to make sure, I believe, that every single profitable, long-standing business needs to be built on truth and justice, and it needs to be a win-win-win-win. And so I like to look at everyone whom any business affects to be able to make sure that we're not missing anything in terms of who this could benefit or who could look at this from a different perspective. So we're just going to go through the three different types of people, the reps, the consumers, and the agents or influencers. And we're going to talk a little bit about what the pros and the cons are of the industry so that we can make sure that if there's anything that we can help with, that we know that. And if there's anything that we can't help with, that we're very clear on that, because we want to make sure that you have a clear expectation of what it is that we do. So the first thing is the consumers. And the first thing that we want to do is go over the pros and the cons of travel, of the industry of travel from a consumer's point of view. And I want to share a couple of stories from my point of view. I am very well traveled, but that's only been over the last few years since I started, in crypto and traveling. And one of them is cost. If, in my experience, most of my friends, if they were able to come up with the money, they would travel more. And so creating an environment where that's more accessible, huge deal. Okay. Pictures are nicer than when you get there when they arrive. And I've had this personally happen a lot with Airbnb. And I showed up to an Airbnb. I had booked a week. I show up there, and across the street is this shut down business, and there's a junkyard next door, and there's, this crazy group of humans outside that did not make me feel safe. And so, I know that's common, and I've seen it from time and time again. I live in Panama City now, in Panama, the country. I'm from Vancouver Island, both very touristy destinations. Luckily, I've been able to move to Panama because I stinking love it here. And I think that everyone should be able to live wherever they want. But I had a friend come here and book an Airbnb, and it was not in a good neighborhood. She didn't get what she wanted. And it actually drove her into leaving early from her trip to Panama. And I don't want that for anybody. And so that concept of like not knowing what to expect is one of the things that is a problem from the consumer's point of view. Now, and before I continue down this list, I do want to say there's a lot of these problems that travel agents, travel advisors, and influencers actually help with. So when it comes to your point of view, maybe you can help with this. And that's beautiful. And it's one of the reasons I've basically exclusively booked with travel agents over the last few years. Because when I figured out that what? I don't even have to pay extra for them. The company pays them. What are we doing? Why doesn't everyone book with them? But I also knew that it was a bit challenging for them in some ways. And we are going to get into the challenges of their role in the travel industry later on. So what to do when you're there? One of the things that I hear a lot is that people know how to book their trip, but then when they get to Panama in particular, they're like, where do I go? Where's the best places, etc. Some people are looking for a very touristy kind of all-inclusive experience. Some people are looking for a more local hands-on experience. And sometimes that's hard to book as an individual if you don't know the area. We've got hard to compare prices and best deals. I actually had one of my friends, he lives in San Diego, and he's actually a part of our advisory team. And him and his wife have lived in San Diego and Palm Springs their whole life. And he is a COO of a multinational corporation. He works with the tech companies that sell tech to Target and other large companies. And in the process, like, he's so good at numbers, right? He's the guy that can find a half an inch in a package to make it so that when you cut the packaging by half an inch, you can, save the company $150 million. So when I say detail guy, I mean detail guy. Spreadsheets is his love language. And so he actually went through our TLX program and compared the prices. And his favorite thing about it was he didn't have to jump from site to site or company to company in order to compare the best deals. And so as a consumer, if you're really deal conscious, I've found that that's been a big piece of the feedback. Customer service on every level, whether it's changing or refunds or ahead of time, that can really be a big challenge. We've got a lack of luxury in the booking process. And this is something I personally like. I love luxury. I want things to be as bougie as possible, as often as possible, but I also love staying on budget. And so for me, there's times like in Austin, for example, if you go to Austin, the Fairmont downtown is super, super, super reasonable Monday to Friday. It's like a quarter of the price of any other similar caliber hotel, because that hotel is built on weekend travelers or weekend locals coming and taking the weekend spots. And then they end up discounting the prices during the week. And so when I went to Austin and I was staying in this hotel for a few weeks, I called the Fairmont, and the way that they treat when you pick up the phone is just world class. And they literally sit there and they're like, is there anything else you'd like, Miss Wright? I'm like, yes, I want all the soap. And, they just go above and beyond. And so sometimes that can be the case. Like when you get to a Ritz-Carlton or a Fairmont, you're going to have that luxury experience, but not always. And not always in the booking experience. And I know for a lot of people who run large teams in the travel industry, creating that consistency for the luxurious or kind of high caliber of service from the beginning to the end is something that, they're always working on. But I definitely know as a consumer, it's something I look for. Figuring out how to book flights and connections, Lord knows, we all know that is a challenge. Group booking, if you want to be next to your friends in a hotel or something like that. There's some trouble that we don't understand. And, Panama is a very, very, very safe city on the scale of Central American and South American countries. It's phenomenal. But there is this one area that you don't want to go. Unfortunately, it's about 10-minute walk from one of the best tourist places in Panama. And so understanding where those lines are can be a bit challenging, especially as you get into less and less well-mapped cities. Lack of support. The research can be time consuming. Current information being up to date. So recent visitors' feedbacks with content. So how this came up, this is actually from our focus group. And one of the things that they said was like, there's times where people go to a resort and they rate it badly, not because it was a bad resort, but because they didn't understand what they were booking. They thought they were getting a local experience and it was actually more of an all-inclusive, or vice versa. So having something that's not just up to date, but relevant based on context really, really matters. And when you're a traditional consumer and you're booking online by yourself, you're definitely not able to contextualize the reviews. We've got special packing and luggage stuff. I know that there's definitely places I've been, Israel being one of them, where I wish I would have packed different footwear. It definitely depends on the style of trip. And I found that when I started booking with a travel agent, they were so much better about helping me with some of those little small logistics as kind of a fun aside. They're like, oh my gosh, you're going to Thailand, but it's in November. Make sure you bring rain shoes. Like, you're going to want something that's waterproof. Like, just know that, right? And so that experience that they brought to the table really made that simple. Visas and passports and vax requirements, as well as return and exit requirements. You can't come to Panama without an exit ticket. They won't let you leave unless you book a return. One of the things that happened for me when I started building online business and coaching people to pay off debt and to grow their money in the stock and crypto markets, then I actually have a business partner. And she invited all of us to come into into Panama. And we all came here, and learning that we needed these logistics and being able to, maneuver around what it was that was required was a little challenging, but I'm really grateful that I had her there. And knowing what hard to know to get the same experiences depicted online is something I see more with the kind of ambitious traveler than the all-inclusive. There's a lot of people that I know that are kind of becoming digital entrepreneurs, or they're maneuvering cities. They're going into places where they maybe haven't been before, but are going to spend a long amount of time. And knowing the difference between what's online and what's real has been a challenge for a lot of them. And then booking late hours and after hours, but wanting help. So for me, what I've really noticed as I'm interviewing, especially travel agents, is that they'll go through all of this work to create this plan for a consumer. That consumer will sit down with their spouse or their friends that they're going on a trip with, and it'll be late at night. It'll be on the weekends. It'll be outside of business hours. And they'll end up booking online because they're scared of missing that specific deal. And actually, from what I hear, some of these companies actually will cookie your computer so that if you do log back in and you go back, they'll actually increase the price. And so it's creating this dynamic where people are booking and not utilizing or supporting the person that does those trips for them. Okay, from a consumer's point of view, we went through some of the best points. And what I want to do is, before I move on to the reps and the travel agents, I just want to ask if you can add anything to the consumer point of view in terms of logistics, things that maybe are a challenge or something that's a benefit. I would love for you to drop it in the chat because I'm really looking for more data on this. We've done 3 focus groups for a total of almost 100 people so far. And this is the data we've gathered. I would love to see, especially for those of you who are in the travel industry, because I know there's a couple of travel agency people on here, and there's a couple of people who are travel influencers that are actually, I have one friend who's going to be watching this from not Portugal, a country I've never been to. She's sleeping right now because it's 3 a.m. where she is. And so I know she's going to be looking at this. So as you're going through this, please drop in anything you can add to these lists in the chat for me, because I know everyone's perspective is going to bring more value in this space. So the best parts of the industry from a consumer's point of view. We've got fun adventure and memories, support and help in the booking process, feeling like you're being honored, having fun, planning your dreams is always a blast. Navigating the places we've never been with experienced travelers and travel agents. When I've spent time at a travel agency and I've had people help me navigate, for example, I went to Thailand and I'm flying from Canada, right? So as I flew through China, and me and my best friend both flew in very similar times. She booked online. I booked with a travel agent. My travel agent told me a few things like, Chinese airlines will actually train their pilots with simulators. So if we can find a more reputable or kind of an airline that has a little bit more of a robust training schedule for their pilots, then she'd prefer that for me. As well as she told me that there's certain places that you can't land to connect to Thailand, that you need a visa. Well, my girlfriend didn't know that. And so when she went and she booked her trip, she ended up landing somewhere in China, and she ended up having her passport taken, and she was put in custody because she didn't have the visa. I landed in Shanghai, where I was able to make my connection simply. And so having that process, knowing that everything is taken care of, so beautiful. And then also one of the blessings comes new food, new places, new excursions. There's absolutely nothing like the pictures, the memories, the fun, the food, all of it. And again, if you can think of anything that you want to add to some of these lists, then please drop them in the chat. Okay, so now we're going to move on to a rep's point of view. So a rep is someone who helps clients book travel. Okay, so here are the problems that we've heard from a rep's point of view. We've got competitiveness of the market. So like Airbnb and those sorts of things. There's actually Airbnb for rental cars and those sorts of things now. So creating competitive pricing. I mean, we used to get exclusive pricing from our travel agents. We don't anymore. Now it's very similar online. So that's been a piece. Lack of incentives. Back when I started in the travel industry in 2006, then I actually, you could get free trips, you'd get free travel. There'd be all of these things that would happen, but there's less of that now. And a lot of the people I'm talking to have been in the industry 10, 20, 30 years. And in that process, they've literally seen their paychecks go down as well as their free trips and incentives. Pain in the butt clients, we all have them. That's part of life and it's part of business. But one of the things that is true is that, they're still here in the travel industry. Time working for a client, then not getting paid. That example, again, was given to me of the person who goes and books this big elaborate trip, does hours worth of research, and then they give that itinerary to their client and say, let me know. And they decide to book it on their own, which is heartbreaking to me because work rewarded is important. Location freedom. So a lot of reps are actually required to be in a certain location or work from a certain office. Generating leads. Okay, so I used to work in the radio station. My job was to bring in new clients for people. And so I constantly heard about, like, if we could get 500, if we could get 100, if we could get 10 more leads in the door, then we'd be able to make more money. But how do we get them in was really a big question we would constantly be working towards. And if any of you have ever met with a newspaper rep or a radio rep or a billboard rep or a TV rep, or there's so many different advertising agencies, even social media reps. One of the things that I've really noticed, and the reason that I got out of that industry, was because so many people were talking about brand recognition, and asking you to put a ton of your hard-earned money towards lead generation without ever being accountable to the leads they were generating. And so you spend $5, $10, $15, $20,000 on advertising, and you can't quantify that. And so it's like, how do you even know how to go out and scale your business? And that was a big problem for me. I came up with some strategies, but they really scaled better when I moved online. And that's the reason why I've shifted more to an online model. So they want the best deals for their clients and can't always get them. So there are times where the price is the same online or in the personal kind of research space as it is from a travel agent. It's supposed to be fun. I feel like I remember going into my travel agent, 15 years ago, and we would go in and there'd be all these girls around me and we'd all be planning my trip, and, they'd all be giving me these little tips and tricks. And it was such a blast. It felt like a bunch of friends planning a dream vacation, even when it was a work trip. And I feel like a lot of that has kind of been taken out. And I haven't booked with a travel agent since COVID because I've actually been traveling, outside of my traditional setup since COVID happened. But what I do know is that they don't sound like they're having as much fun. Everyone I've talked to said they could definitely use some more. Commission is the base of the pay. And then there sometimes is an hourly plus commission dynamic. But obviously that's going to scale, which could be a pro or a con. I love working on commission because I know I'm going to do the things I say I'm going to do. But I do know that that means that as the business scales, as things adjust, as there's less and less demand or more and more demand, it's going to affect your pay. Software and hardware can be expensive. There's buying groups require you to buy into them or give a percentage of your fees, or sometimes you'll have to do flat fees depending on volume. Those buying groups can either be liberating or supportive, or they can be, restricting depending on which one you're a part of. These are some of the commission ranges that I've heard from agents. So it's based on volume. It goes up if you book more, which means for an independent might be a little less. Hard to monetize social media platforms and networks. So really learning how to build a brand online. I know people who make 10, 20, 40, 100 grand a month net marketing travel. And they do it part-time while on a beach utilizing Instagram. And then I know these travel agents that are sitting there working 8, 10 hours a day in an office, helping people, truly helping people, but they're not making that kind of money. And the idea of making 10K a month would add a lot of value to their life. And so the idea that there's this beautiful unicorn over here, it's like, how do we help the more traditional, good-hearted business people that are helping the mass public create this kind of income without having to pose in a bikini on the beach? And we do have a solution for that. And I noticed that there's a little bit of it's a bit of a challenge for people right now, seeing that their hard work isn't being valued as much as, some of these people who don't seem to be working as hard. And so that's been something that's come up. Must work under others' umbrellas, lack of independence and autonomy, not being able to create your own brand, not being able to build your own business, not being able to, create your own schedule, etc. And again, as I go through this, please add to the list. So if you can think of anything to add to that list, just drop it in the chat. But if you feel like it's complete, let's start with that. If you feel like these lists so far have been pretty complete and you can't really add anything, can I get a 1 in the chat? I just want to know if we're on point, if we're, if there's anything that you do feel like needs to be mentioned. I would love to see some 1s in the chat if it is that you feel that this is a complete list for the rep and consumer point of view. And I'll wait. I know there's a lag. Okay, Sherry agrees. I love it. Okay, thank you, Leona. I appreciate it. Is there anyone else who could give me some feedback when it comes to, is this list complete or do we need to add something? All right. Well, I know sometimes when I'm on my phone, especially, it doesn't always allow me to type in. So I'm going to continue moving forward. But again, you do have fun. I love it, Jordan. Well, we'll have to chat more. I'd love to hear how you're creating location freedom and how you're having a ton of fun. Because for me, I used to work like a dog and I still do a lot of work, but like not having fun is so not a part of, I'm done. So I'm glad you've integrated that. And I'd love to hear more about how you're doing it. Okay, so best parts of the industry, discounts on trips, potentially some free trips, fun planning, people with their dreams. Yeah, Kalia feels it's complete. I love it. Okay. It's so much fun planning people's dreams. And I don't care if it's entrepreneurial or it's like traveling, it is the best. And any of you who have been a part of planning a dream vacation or building someone's, entrepreneurial journey or launching someone new in the industry, you know how fun it is. Friends and colleagues who are like-minded, having other travelers, because some people don't want to leave their hometown. Their idea of a crazy weekend is going to their childhood cabin, which is amazing. And I love that. But for those of us who want to see the world, it's kind of nice to have people who are like-minded around. And then a way to get paid while traveling is always fun too. And I love that you've got that figured out, Jordan, because yeah, being able to leave and still bring your money with you is a game changer. Okay, so now we've got the business owner's point of view, which is very much from, again, I've done a couple of small focus groups with the business owners, but personally I've worked with literally hundreds of small business owners. And these logistics aren't only for travel. Some of them are for all small business owners. So we've got the brick and mortar cost. It's hard to compete online when you're paying overhead, period. The cost and the profit margins could be tied into that point. Recruiting new agents and retaining agents can be a challenge. And especially when you're in there, I used to work with this one company and they're like, well, I don't want to train the people that are good with clients to handle the administration, because as soon as they can handle admin and they can handle clients and they have connections to my suppliers, then I'm just training my competition. And so it's this interesting balance of creating leverage in your business, but also trying to, maintain good people, but not equip your competition. So we've got advertising for leads. We have to figure that out as a business owner. We've got taxes and government regulations, COVID, headaches of staff, insurance. Sometimes can be a lack of fun. I think there's some of us that know how to bring some fun into it. And I love that you mentioned that, Jordan, because that's a blast. Diligent staff / training. I believe that there's a huge COVID deficit, which is a blessing and a challenge right now. There's consumers who are hungry to travel, but there's also the financial battle that a lot of people have been in over the last few years, where they literally do not have the same reserves or capacity that they may have had before. So they've had to really lean out their operation and potentially their bank accounts. They're exposed financially. Every single person that I worked with, their staff got a better mortgage rate than they did, which is wild, but also it makes sense because you're exposed financially. Your business goes under, that can have some repercussions on you, whereas it doesn't for your employees. Vacation time, of course, being able to take time away from your business, the competition, who you're competing against. Now we're competing against large global companies, the internet, et cetera. Business owners do get more perks though, which I think is super cool. I think that, you know, a lot of the business owners are some of the top reps. They get like more of those incentive trips apparently. And you can fire clients a little bit more than reps. Usually as an employee of a team, you're not so much likely to be able to say bye, but you know, there's times where as a business owner, you have that autonomy. And then the best parts, very similar to reps, you get your free trips, discounts on trips, potentially more free trips, fun planning people's dreams, people who are like-minded, and a way to get paid traveling. So again, I just want to ask before I move on, is there anything that you feel I'm missing? Have you feel like there's something I'm missing out on or something I can add to this list? Because that can be really, really, really helpful. All right. So there's, like I said, there's travel agents, there's reps, and there's consumers. There's this other piece for me because I was working with small, medium-sized business owners, but I never owned a business prior to getting started in coaching, consulting, and crypto a few years ago. And so there's a lot of people that are actually in the world out there that want to start a business from home, who want to travel and make money, who want to create income and experience this life. And it's the number one question I get asked is, how do I do what you're doing? Because I'm sitting here on a beach making money and they're like, I used to work in a beige cubicle. And so I actually want to bring up a couple of ladies just to give you a quick 60 seconds on what it's like from their point of view. These are people, the kind of people you would want working in your travel agency, the kind of people you would want to have as an influencer, but they're working 60 or 80 hours a week, or they're running a family, or they're dealing with their stuff. And so they may not have the skill set. They may not even be looking for what it is that would be a job post, et cetera, but they're looking for entrepreneurship. They're looking for autonomy over their life. They're looking for more money, more control, and more adventure. And so there's a couple of ladies who have stepped onto our advisory panel, and you'll see more about what that means in a little bit. But I want to bring up Sherry and Leona, and I'm actually going to have Sherry go first and just tell us in 60 seconds prior to joining TLX, what was your job situation? What was your prospects for retirement? And how often did you get to travel? And now, knowing what you know now with the TLX incentive trips, with the team that we have with this now additional income stream, I think you just matched like 25% of one of your large jobs in terms of income like that. Like in her first week, she just went and built a business that has built a guaranteed income that has set her up to replace 25% of her working hours, which is just crazy. So I really want to hear and celebrate her. And so Sherry, can I bring you up and can you just tell us a little bit again about how much you traveled, how much you were working, and why it is you're so excited to be a part of our advisory panel? And I just want you guys to think about, like, who do you know that this sounds like as you hear Sherry's story? Sherry, do I have you there?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, perfect. Working 2 jobs, and that's the way that I'm going to be able to travel. Otherwise, I don't have the funds to be able to travel. That's how I'm going to the Cook Islands, and we're going to be going to Atutaki, but I don't have the time freedom. I'm working 12 hours, 14 hours a day. And this has allowed me to replace one of my positions, 25% of my wage that I'm making. And so I'm looking to replace that income totally by September 15th, where I'll be able to be down to 1 job and be able to work more with the travel industry and be able to, get my dreams and stuff. Because I love to travel, love it. So, and it's great being on the travel advisory committee because we've get to meet, tons of new people, like-minded people. We get great discounts and stuff. It's phenomenal what's out there and what's being offered. And I just want more travel partners.
Right? It's going to be so much fun. So here's the thing that I think is really cool about our program. Thank you, Sherry. I want to say thank you. Watching you just go and decide, because I know a lot of people want to start businesses, and I was that person. And having interviewed over 500 people before I started my business, I realized that most businesses didn't actually buy you freedom. They bought you control, but they didn't buy you freedom. And so as I see you building this, and as I know that in my heart of hearts that we can create that space for people like you who are hungry for something, that really means a lot to me, because the entrepreneurial spirit, I think, is really what North America in particular was built on. And that concept of being able to go and provide for your own and create your own is something that isn't so much as accessible as it once was back, 100 years ago. So I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that we're doing this together, and watching you just continue to inspire and educate and connect has been world class. I can't wait to meet you on a beach. All right. Well, now I'm going to bring up Leona. Leona's story is so special because she really has gone through some very recent transitions where she's said, hey, I want to do life big. I want to do life for me. I want to create this space where I get to be all that I've ever wanted. And so her energy, her love for life, her love for adventure, and her love for people really inspires me on a daily basis. And she's already created this incredible team of advisors and is working with people on a daily basis to help them launch their businesses. So Leona, would you be willing to tell them a little bit about, first of all, where you were prior to this and what this business, what this new advisory position looks like and means to you?
Hi, thanks, Shanda, and thank you, Sherry. Yeah, sure. So prior to this, my life changed drastically in the last year, and I lost my husband. And for me, I didn't realize how much of an umbrella I was living under, or a shadow. Not that I was being oppressed in any way. It was just I was waiting to live life. And this has given me the opportunity to see that I can be free and enjoy myself and be who I was destined to be. So for me, that's kind of where I've seen the big aha moment for me. And I'm just thrilled to be a part of the advisory team, to help and grow individuals, to help people just find out who they're meant to be and to be free. And for me, it's buying back freedom and being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and to have fun, to play, and just enjoy my kids, my grandson, and friends and family, and traveling on the beach. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
It's so inspiring. Your story just blows me away. I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so glad that, I'm grateful because I know that becoming a travel agent isn't for everybody. I also know becoming an entrepreneur isn't for everybody. But for those who have the entrepreneurial spirit, but don't know the how to, that's what I do. I'm the how girl. I'm the strategist, right? And so watching you, really step in and follow directions and build this business has been absolutely incredible. So thank you, Leona, for just being a key part of our team and just one of the people I've grown to love so much over these last few months of working together. All right. So that's the story of our advisors. And I wanted you to hear that because as a business, you're going to have an opportunity to work with advisors, people like Sherry, who are working 2 jobs, working, 15-hour days, like 6+ days a week. And people like Leona, who are just like, I have this space and I want to create. That's really cool. But there's also this space where those people get to serve entrepreneurs. And in my experience, they're always looking for more income, more resources, and ways to serve their clients better. And that's also one of the strategies that we deploy at TLX Travel Advisors. So I'm going to get into some of that right now. So we bring all of the best parts of the industry into one place that solves most of the problems you have, and a chance to be the first to have access. Like I said, this company has been around for 8 years, but this specific vehicle, this travel portal, has only been available for the last couple of months. And so we're, as the advisory panel, we're in charge of identifying, launching, and creating the success stories of the different travel agents that are going to build this thing out. Just like when EXP launched, there was a team of people that connected with the key agents that got to position themselves at the top of that business. Now, what that means is that in EXP, and just like in TLX, if I'm a travel agent and I refer other travel agents to be a part of TLX, or other people like Leona or Sherry who are going to be advisors, then you actually get to benefit from all the business that they bring in, and that ultimately builds your baseline in terms of income. So our TLX team is the answer for consumers, and how we create that consumer experience. I want to paint a picture for you. So imagine you walk into a travel agency, and I hope for those of you who have travel agencies, this is part of the fun experience. And Jordan, I assume it is for you, because for real, like, this is the most fun part. is that you get to walk in. So you walk into a travel agency, you sit down, you have this vision of this experience, and you download it onto someone else. You get to tell them exactly what it is that you want to do, how you want to experience it. And based on their experience, based on their knowledge, and based on their research, they can help you create that. It is so much fun. And I remember sitting there booking my trip to Thailand and having 4 different travel agents come and say, oh my gosh, you got to try this restaurant. You got to try this spot. Make sure you hit this temple. And they gave me these resources that really set me up to be able to have the best experience possible. And it was so much fun to book. And so our team with TLX creates this on an online platform. So what we do is we create a Zoom, and the experienced travelers, travel agents, locals from the city that we're booking, as well as digital nomads that have been on site, come to help book the locations. Okay. So we create this Zoom, and all of these people who have been there, done that, know the terrain, are going to be a part of this. And you have a chance to be one of those people. So you get exclusive discounts. Our platform actually offers up to 60% off of the best deals that are available online. And in my experience, every travel agent I've taken through this platform has been impressed with our pricing. So I knew I was impressed as a consumer, but then when I had travel agents that are like, you can get that price on a Vancouver to Alaska cruise in September. Like, are you kidding? Like, they assumed it was unsold inventory, when the truth is that we actually get access to prime deals in prime seasons. 24-hour access. Okay. So imagine this. Your team of consumers, your customers, become TLX members. They get access to the portal. You can help them design their vacations in these travel parties, but maybe they decide to wait until their husband gets home from work to book it. You're still going to be able to give them access to that without being available yourself. Plus, we have a 24-hour 5-star concierge service that allow to help in the booking process. So instead of taking those calls or those emails late at night or missing out on those deals because you're not there, you actually get access to this support team for no additional cost. Okay. Let me make sure. And then we also have a platform to share photos after and during. So imagine this. So we have this Zoom, we have all these experienced travelers, travel agents, locals, nomads, etc. We have these exclusive discounts. Plus, if they book outside of a booking party, they still get the concierge in the booking portal. They get all the deals. But we also bring up people who have been to these locations, different travelers, to share their photos. So this is going to inspire other travelers, and it's going to make our consumers feel like they're a part of our team, feel like they're a part of the booking process, feel like they're able to make it as a piece of the team, which creates loyalty, and it creates so much fun, because some people like to share photos on Instagram, but not everyone. And for those people who still want to share their photos, but maybe in a more private setting, we get to give them a platform to really celebrate. Plus, we actually have an all-inclusive annual trip that's included with your TLX membership for you as well as your consumers. And so what I want to do now is I just want to go through really quickly what this is and watch these videos so that you can get a sense for exactly what this portal is and what it is we're talking about.
Okay, so traveling hit a few delays. Big deal. Remember when Bitcoin was only 3K? Wish you bought more, right? Travel is still $1 trillion industry. It'll explode again. Question is, will you be ready? From local relaxation to exotic sanctuaries. Could be the hottest restaurants, family adventures, killer nightclubs, or legendary music festivals. We need it, we want it, and right now, we'll do anything to make it happen. You know what this means? Opportunity. What if we offered a travel, maybe a lifestyle, but better, more than just the typical? What about an experience? Okay, but more. Imagine discounts, not this one, this one. Oh, we're not done. Add 5-star VIP support, whose sole purpose is to create unforgettable memories beyond expectations. The best part, benefits could be 2 miles or 2,000 miles away. You choose. Finally, A travel portal the right way. Watch your customers not only learn the markets, but earn new lifestyle experiences they never dreamed possible. Here we go!
So that's the sizzle video is what I call it. So it's basically the concept in basics. But if what we do is we come here, this will break down some of the nuts and bolts. So let's do that really quick. Oh.
Academy. So what is TLX? TLX with I Am Mastery Academy. So what is TLX? TLX is an exclusive membership for travel and lifestyle discounts, events, and benefits. So what's included? You're going to get discount travel up to 60% off. That's right, 60% off the best online rates, discounts at hotels, resorts, events, festivals, and thousands of different restaurants. Even special access to what's called the TLX themed trips and events with the I Am educators. So you can actually receive education from educators inside of I Am Mastery Academy. You're also going to get access to the TLX impact trips and events, access to travel and lifestyle ambassador content that you receive. Also the anniversary TLX trips that get better and better every year. So each member will get access to what's called the travel booking site. So once purchased, you get immediate access. This comes from a link of the person that referred you. You go to the site, you sign up for TLX, you're officially a member. All you have to do is just simply log in, enjoy the savings. You'll have your own travel website provided by the company. Now, just as an example, you have access to over 800,000 hotels and resorts worldwide with, just as mentioned, discounts up to 60% off the best online prices. So just as an example, whether I want to go to Amsterdam, New York, Las Vegas, I can get discounts from online hotels and other places all over the world. You're also going to get access to TLX upcoming trips. For example, we have Crypto Beach, Dominican Republic, October 14th to the 17th. So you have a 4-day, 3-night, all-inclusive discount on tours and excursions. You have an island that you get access to for $549 per person. Then you get training. That's right, training with DCX educator Kevin Vaquero. Also, Crypto Beach, Mexico, January 27th through the 30th,
I'll mention this right here before I continue this video, because one of the things, we're an education company first, right? And we continue to educate people on how to make beach money, you know, in the markets. And so a lot of the people that we know are looking for that kind of resource. And so what we've done is we've merged the two with some of these so that if someone is looking to travel and learn, they can. And if they're looking to travel on their own, they don't have to. So these are just options that we're including as part of TLX. So just so you know, if you don't know who DCX educator Nick Gomez is, that's no problem. He's just one of the top global educators in crypto in the world right now. And he's going to be doing this exclusive trip in January. So this is what we're referring to when we say educators.
4-day, 3-night, all-inclusive discount on tours and excursions. You're going to get access to the beach with Maya Cancun, $549 per person. Also, you're going to get trained by DCX educator, Mr. Nick Gomez. Also, you have Pips on the Strip coming up December 8th through the 11th, 4 days, 3 nights. The Palms Casino and Resort, that's $349 per person. Also, as an exclusive member, you get access to the TLX Anytime trips. These are some of the top destinations around the world, 4 to 5-star properties for as low as $89 per person per night, all inclusive. Then you have access to impact trips. This is life-changing. Custom trips planned with a purpose-driven cause behind it. So impact the youth, impact the environment, and impact the world. You thought we were done? We have the TLX anniversary trips. That's right, anniversary trips. Year 1, Mexico. Year 2, Miami, Las Vegas. And these are all subject to change, but year 3, Costa Rica, Monte Carlo, Australia, Thailand, Dubai, the African safari, Bora Bora, and even the destination of your choice. Absolutely phenomenal. So in order to get started with us, if you want to purchase a TLX membership, your initial enrollment is $234.95, which also includes your first month. And then the per 4-week billing cycle. So the monthly cycle is $174.95. It is month to month, and there is no contract that you're locked into. So simply get back to the person who referred this video to you and get started with TLX today.
So one of the things that I want to just mention, that I want to mention really quickly is those anniversary trips. So the way that our product is built is that our customers, your consumers, pay a monthly subscription for access to these deals, okay? And in the process of getting access to these deals, they're also going to be rewarded with an annual all-inclusive vacation that will be a minimum $2,000 value for the first year, and they escalate in value each year. So there's people out there, and we just had, actually, Maddie had a new team member start who's just a consumer. And what she wants is she wants to be able to travel more, right? So what happens is that she's going to be able to pay this monthly subscription, and in paying that monthly subscription, get access to these deals. And then once a year, basically call it like a layaway plan for your vacation, right? And the cool part is, as our customers refer people, because everyone sends referrals if they're happy, right? 2 referrals, as long as they're enrolled and they're paying their active membership, you actually don't pay your personal membership. So it rewards our customers for sending referrals, in the sense that all they have to do is send 2 referrals, and now they're getting annual trips for free. And I know firsthand, okay, the average person may be able to afford a trip to Mexico, but when was the last time they went to the Maldives or Greece or Ibiza or an African safari, right? That's our goal, is to really create experiences for people that maybe they wouldn't have had access to otherwise. So this creates loyalty in our product offering, in addition to retention in our customer base. So for our travel agents, travel advisors, and travel and digital nomads, they're going to be able to create a baseline residual, because you get paid based on the subscriptions that you refer and those people refer. So based on your total customer base, so everyone you refer, everyone they refer, everyone that comes to connect, that counts towards your personal income, okay? And it comes with that 5-star concierge, the annual anniversary trips, as well as access to these exclusive deals, okay? So for your customers, they get access, they get all of these vacations that maybe they could or couldn't afford otherwise. They get access to the 2 and free program, in addition to all of the support from the booking party. So we're actually going to help them plan these vacations, plan their business trips, and navigate around some of the logistics when it comes to travel. So you're going to have support for your clients, as well as give them access to things they might not be able to do otherwise. Okay, so for reps, we are going to host these booking parties together. So you don't have to be there 100% of the time. It's not like, oh, I took a week off, my client was booking a vacation, I'm not there, so she books with someone else, which means I don't get paid. That's not the way this works. You get paid based on the total amount of people subscribed to the TLX, and based on that, that's the only thing that matters. And anything you sell in addition to that, their flights, etc. We don't do commercial flights. We are adding in private jet sharing coming in the future. But for right now, what we're doing is we're really focusing on accommodations, cruises, and rental cars. And so everything additional to that, you're going to get paid on. Excuse me. I need to make that stop. So this, let me just get back into our slide deck. All right. So that's the idea, is that you're not going to have all of it done by you. You're still going to have the support. So say you're on vacation, you're not feeling well, whatever, you're going to have other digital nomads, travel agents, advisors, influencers, etc., pouring into your clients as they book their trips, okay? So you're going to have more support. If you refer them once, you keep getting paid. So you get paid based on the total number of people that referred to this platform, not based on how much they book. So what it does is it creates a more solid income base and it creates a more steady income. And we've done the math. If someone stays in more than 600 nights in a hotel room in a year, this is already cash flow positive for them. In addition to that, they're going to be able to get access to those annual trips. Now, we actually have a tool, and it's something that our travel advisors do. Not everyone's going to do this, but for people like Sherry and Leona, we actually host these call center type Zooms where we actually show them how to generate leads, how to build a team of travel agents, how to connect to different travel agents around the world. And we're going to teach your team how to do the same thing. So if you're currently mentoring or leading a group of people that are looking for more income, looking for more clients, we're going to teach them how to do that. And we're going to actually host that space with and for you. Now, personally, because we're just getting this off the ground in North America, we're looking for people who have experience in mentorship and leadership to help us create the culture of these spaces. So my heart is that whether you're a rep or an agency or an influencer or a nomad, you're going to be able to come in and build this culture, build this team with us. And then once you decide to kind of cut back your hours, you're still going to get paid for all the work that you did, hence the residuals. We've also got multiple six-figure training that I've personally paid for to be able to bring into this team and the scripts to go along with it. So they've got all the tools that they need. And now I really want to break down what the money looks like. Okay, so for TLX, for owners, reps, and influencers and nomads, here's how the money works. So we know that our customers, that our clients are getting taken care of, the travelers. When it comes to us and it comes to our money, I want to give you an idea of the benchmarks for the guaranteed income levels. So you have a guaranteed monthly income before you wake up in the morning, which for me, as a business owner, that appealed to me heavily. And as long as that same number of customers is currently enrolled, whether or not you show up, it's based on your performance. So for people who have large databases, who work with large amounts of clients, we actually have an entire marketing system for email lists, for large social media platforms, for the sorts of things. Maybe you're more of an in-person influencer like me, where you're active in your Chamber of Commerce and your BNIs. We have tools, scripts, and marketing material for those vehicles, email lists, etc. And what happens when we start converting people to this booking club, to this booking team, is that whether they are an influencer or they're an advisor or they are a traveler, they're going to be one of your team members. And you get paid based on how many team members you have. So think of all of the friends that you have that travel a lot. Think of all the business travelers you know. Think of all the people that are currently on your team and all of the people that they currently help book travel. That's how many people could be in your team. Okay. Now look at your email list and monetizing that. If you're not making at least $1 per person on your email list from your emails, then we have some tools that will really help you monetize and move forward. So here are the benchmarks for your specific guaranteed income levels. So we have 12 total referrals, 12 total customers, 12 total team members is $600 USD per month. 30 is $1,000 USD per month. 75 is $2,000 USD per month. 225 is $5,000 USD per month. 500 is $10,000. 1,200, and it's actually 1,250, is 25,000 a month. 2,500 is 50,000 a month, and 5,000 is 100,000 a month. It continues to go up from there all the way to $1 million a month. So we have 6 top affiliates with our platform right now that are at that $1 million a month. And that's something that if you see yourself at that kind of level, not everyone does. Most people, 10,000 a month, 25,000 a month. That's really what our business plan is built on, is helping people get there. And what happens at those higher levels is obviously, more work, more team leads, et cetera, but we definitely have a business plan for it. So you get all of that income. In addition, you still, because you're going to sign up as a TLX member as well, right? So you're going to get access to all the same deals and all the same things. So you get incentive trips, you get your annual TLX incentive trip. At each rank, at each one of those benchmarks, you're actually going to get a personalized gift. Everything from awards, games, books, designer gifts, AirPods, watches, etc. After 10,000 a month, we actually add on even more customized gifts, including trips, jewelry, cryptos, commodities, gold, etc., art, exclusive access to events, networking, and more. And we actually are working on a mentorship program right now where as you hit certain benchmarks, say, 20 personal people in 60 days, that you go and you onboard your team, you onboard your first level customers, your raving fans, you have a team that builds very quickly, or you go through a big business building 60 days. What happens is actually my mentors who are at that 50,000 a month in this business, but they're also working on other companies where they match that or exceed it. So let's just say they're good at online marketing. Okay. they're pretty good. And what that means is that you're actually going to get access to exclusive training from them as you come to Panama. So we actually host retreats here in Panama. We just completed one for anyone that adds that specific benchmark in terms of work ethic, because I know there's people out there that are hungry to make more money that actually think they have to go and spend $10,000 on radio advertising, or they have to go spend $20,000 on TV ads. And realistically, are they getting that back? Maybe or maybe not. But all they have to do is refer a few people, and those people refer a few people. You're actually going to get access to this. Well, we have experts that are going to show you how to build that part of your business and give you access to that training. And this is how our boiler rooms are built out. Okay, so let's just say we call 10 people an hour. Let's just say. Now, every call center I've ever worked at, I called more. Sometimes it's less. Let's just say 10 an hour, very conservative number if you're actively working the phones. We spend 4 to 5 days a week working 2 to 4 hours a day. So let's just say weekly exposures in 20 hours, you're going to talk to 200 people. We're going to have 3 say yes, which is 60, which is 1 that's actually going to show up to a call very similar to this. And we're going to have a 50% closing ratio. Those are very conservative ratios based on everything that I've experienced over the years. So that means that there could be 10 new travel agency owners working in your team per person you have that you're working with. This is something you have your reps do. This is something that if you don't have any leads or any contacts, that's fine. You can come here and learn how to do that. We're going to show you lead gen and we're going to do all of that. So then let's just say those 10 travel agents all have an average of 3 people. Some people work on their own, some people work with 10 before they announce it to their clients, okay? Then that means you have a total team of 30 people. You're already at 1,000 a month before you even tell your clients about this. Then you email, post, promote your entire database, and they each have a minimum of 3 people who start, each one of those travel agents. That means that there's 30 people per month added to your team, which means in month 1, you could get from 1,000 to 2,000. In month 2, as that scales throughout your team, you're going to actually get to 2,000 to 5,000. And within 6 months, you could be, assuming you follow directions, you're coachable and you're hungry, be at 10,000 a month, US residual every single month, no matter what you do. And that's net, right? I mean, you've got your $175 a month, but all of this training, these boiler rooms for your team, this extra marketing that you can send out through your emails, that you can post on your social media, all of that is included for an extra $20 a month. So this is part of our leadership package. So that's your entire $200 a month is your entire overhead. Now, here's the thing that's cool. Imagine you go and you have a team, because we all know travel agents. So we have our travel agents start their business with us. They all launch their teams. They all promote to their agencies. Now you've got a group of, let's say, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people. Now you decide to cut back your hours. Well, you've already equipped the leaders. You've already helped them grow. You've already created the culture with us over these next 6 months to really help them create this income. So now you've got a huge sales team working, whether or not you do, from different parts of the world. This week, I'm talking to a tour guide from the Maldives, and a travel influencer in Bali, one in Portugal who's just spent all of her time. We actually met on a beach in Panama, right? These travel influencers are going to have a space to work with a professional because they don't know how to be professionals. But also, do we all know how to create content? I know I didn't, coming from traditional business. I didn't know how to go get 10,000 followers, but now I do. And so it's about amalgamating the 2 industries so that you can create more income in less time with more support for your clients and your team, and it creates scalability. And so, yeah, that schedule's shifting a little. So that's what we're doing. And just so you know, when it comes to the schedule with TLX, we're going to be doing at least one booking party per week, as well as at least one business opportunity overview per week. So what you would do is you would do the same thing that the person that invited you here is you invite them into an event. And then what we do is we actually do a strategy call. So I'll be doing strategy calls next week. Tomorrow is the big day. Let me see. I'm going to get you the link to book a strategy call. Hold on. And then get back to the person that invited you here. And they're going to give you access . They're going to give you access to my calendar. I've just dropped it in the chat. So that should be working by the end of today. So in the next 20 minutes, go in there and make sure that you book a strategy call for tomorrow or the next day. We do have $50 off between now and the end of Monday. So you can get access to this travel portal for yourself. We have a 6-day money back guarantee, and we're going to do a booking party this week for Mexico because we have several consumers who are very much looking forward to it. So make sure you get your position in that strategy call calendar right away so that we can help you lay out a plan for you and your business. And if you have any questions, we'll be able to go through them all together then. So thank you so much for your time. I know we've gone a little bit over. I really appreciate your patience. If anyone has any questions, we will be doing strategy calls, but please email back the person that invited you here. Let them know if you are a 1, 2, or a 3. So a 1 is the kind of person that says thanks, but no thanks. And if that's you, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. The second kind of person says, I have a ton of questions. That's what the strategy calls for. Third kind of person says, I'm in, sign me up. I'm here for it. If that's the case, then make sure that you let them know so we can get you positioned before all the other travel agents we're working with over this week, so that we can make sure that you're positioned with them in your team instead of you in their team by starting a little bit later. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Leona and Sherry, for being here. Thank you all for putting in a little extra time with us today. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Click on that link. I'm going to go make sure that it's working because sometimes technology gives us a bit of a grief. And we will see you tomorrow, and we will see you on the beach in Mexico, hopefully. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Shanda. Bye, everyone.